Black Unapologetically. Learn more right after this.
I'm transferring to the University of West Georgia.
Columbia University.
Kennesaw State.
UGA. Loyola University in Chicago.
Grambling State.
Shorter University. I'm going to Greensboro College, and we all got our start at Georgia Highlands.
No matter where your educational journey takes you, you can get your start at Georgia Highlands College. Georgia Highlands College. Enroll, engage, excel.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doug,
how you doing?
how you doing, brother?
Okay.
You know, we put a little soul in there today.
Trying to follow you.
Yeah.
Trying to follow you. Well, this is a show about something you were familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So help me.
Well, actually, it's a show about a Facebook group that I was exposed to, and you looking through it, and you see some interesting things, and you see some interesting comments. And I just thought, wow, I would like to learn more.
Now
about that.
you're a big Facebook guy.
I am not, and that's why this stood out to me because, just like Facebook is very selfish. It seems like at times it's a lot of, it can be very shallow at times. And so this particular site that I was fortunate to be a part of and seeing the positive stuff that they kept posting about African Americans and the black culture, and some of the dialogue I thought was very interesting. And so I was like, I think it would be an interesting show to talk more about that, because what I'm looking at is the platform to have some serious dialogue about issues in our community and how we see ourselves. And so that's the page, Black Unapologetically. Yeah. Well, I'm not apologizing for being black. I'm just.
You're not.
I'm not.
I'm shocked.
And I'm not going to work to make you feel comfortable. You just either you with me.
Well, that's not a surprise to me, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've ever heard you apologize for anything.
I don't know.
I'll get back with y'all on that. We have a guest today who will join us right after the break, Tika Lewis, who started this group, and we'll talk more about it then. Please stay with us.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we're very happy to have with us today Tika Lewis.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And actually, welcome back.
Thank you.
This is a group that you started on Facebook.
That is correct.
And I guess I should hear not only what it is, but what made you do this or start this.
Actually, after owning an opioid treatment facility for 7 years and it being set afire, October the 1st, 2012, I have tried to reinvent myself, if you will. I've just tried to identify with who I am today, because shortly after the fire, October the 1st, 2012, November the 1st, we moved into a new building. Upon moving into the new building, we were getting things ready. And the way the opioid treatment facility circuits work, licenses do not transfer. So I had to start all over. And in that process, January the 29th, my husband and I found out we were expecting. and that was great joy. And then February the 20th, my dad passed away, and life just kind of stopped for me. My son is now 2 years old. I have a 2-year-old son, and I've just, from resume to resume, I had to take CEO off of my resume. I added CEO back to the resume, and I've just not been able to find a job. And it began to wear on my ego, if you will, because I began to question, why am I not good enough? So as I was on Facebook one day, I just became so sad in my spirit because there was so much negative things going on Facebook, and I thought I could really do some good. I can actually bring some positive things to the community. The way that the black man is displayed is disheartening because I know a lot of great black men. You know, my father was a great black man. My husband is a great black man, and I just don't think they get enough credit for being who they are. So I created the book, the page, Black Unapologetically, as a means of allowing my culture to see the positive things that actually go on, that black people really do fall in love and they stay in love. My parents met at the age of 14 and 15. They were married for 48 years up until my dad's death in 2013. And it was shared with me once that, well, you've not really been married until you've been divorced at least once. And that just kind of made me sad because I believe in love, or you can call me a hopeless romantic. And then I wanted to shed light on the educational aspects. It's just so many things that my culture of people aren't educated to, or educated of, if you will. I remember sharing with a girl, I offered to take her to lunch one day, and she goes, well, where are we going to go? And I said, let's go to Harvest Moon. And she said, can we go there? I said, what do you mean? She goes, black people don't go to Harvest Moon. And it really made me sad because in 2015, to have such a mentality of what we are able to do and unable to do, that mental slavery. And I wanted to break the stigma. So I do a piece on crowdfunding. It's a lot of entrepreneurship. A lot of black people that are entrepreneurs in the city, outside of the city. But what doesn't happen is that they don't get the patron from other black people. And I wanted to assess that and try to understand, well, if there's a black woman who owns a hair salon here in the city, not a hair salon, a hair store in the city, why do black people still shop at Coleman's? And that was one of the questions that I just wanted to grasp and understand. And then there's a black pharmacist here in Rome, and it's like, why do black people not patron this black pharmacy? And I asked my mom, if she thought about switching over, because she's been with CVS since I can remember. And for her, her explanation was change was difficult for her.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything to do with the race of the pharmacy. It was more or less, she did not want to mess up her. These people know her, they've known her for years. And I just wanted to know if that's what it really is for everybody. If change is really the problem for us to patronize.
Well, let me ask. There are a couple of things that are really interesting about what you've explained. And one thing that struck me immediately is that you, after a difficult period, you found something new to put your creative energies behind. And I think that's something we've seen in a lot of guests, that kind of courage really is to turn a completely different direction and start something new. So I mean that's really interesting to me. But I'm curious, when you start just the very beginning of this, how do you put something brand new together? I mean, and did you plan it out, or did you just begin it to see where it was going to go, or what were your initial thoughts when you just started it?
I think in essence, because my audience, if you will, are actually the ones who actually honed it for me. But initially, I started out with just positive messages, positive pictures. And when I saw the response of the people, that's what allowed me to take it to another level, and it's like, okay, Tika, what can you actually do with this, and how can you be a benefit to the people? So it wasn't planned per se, and as impulsive as it was, when I decided to just start a group one day, I started adding people, and they was like, so what is the group about? I had no idea what it was going to be, and then I realized there's a need for the community. There's a need for not even so much as the culture of black people, because I find myself educating Caucasians as well, if you will. And when I say black unapologetically, I'm not out here fight the power or white supremacy. That's not who I am. It's not who I represent. What I'm sharing with the world when I say black unapologetically, I'm simply saying at 42 years old, I have learned to embrace my flaws. I have learned to embrace, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm okay. I'm okay with who I am, because after losing a business, after having an entrepreneurship, and to lose that business and to not recover from that business, I fell into this place of, who am I? And I think more often than not, we identify ourselves with whatever position we are in life. If you go to a wedding, I'm the sister of the bride, or if you go to a conference, well, I'm the executive director. And as I look back, it was like, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. But gosh, there's so many great benefits to being just a stay-at-home mom. And this lady asked one day, she goes, well, what do you do? And reluctantly and or embarrassingly, I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I said, you know what? I said, I apologize to you. And she goes, what do you apologize for? I said, because I was embarrassed to share with you that I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's been a blessing to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm truly blessed to be in such a position, and I'm grateful for all the benefits in which have come, my way. And as I sit back and I look at things as a whole, I'm okay. I'm okay. My parents have always, it's 4 girls. I'm a Navy brat. My dad did 22 years and 8 months, and he left behind such an awesome legacy, because my 3 sisters all have that entrepreneurial spirit. They're all doing their roles, owning their own businesses. So I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. And I just want to share with the world that, there is more to life than what we see front screen or all the negative things that we see.
Tika, I'm interested in, I know I read some of the posts, and then I read the comments. I think, to me, comments really tell a lot about, the comments to me says a lot.
Okay.
And it's amazing. So what has it been your experience, I guess, with some of your posts? Like, I know you was one you had, it was quite, I ain't gonna say controversial, but the people didn't get it.
Right.
And they really didn't get it. And I seen some of the going back and forth. So what has your experience been like since you started this? For as what have, I guess, you've seen that you wasn't planning to see, that you were like, oh, I didn't realize that.
Right. Right. My experience with this, and there's only been 2 instances where people have gone back and forth over a particular post, but I've learned not to get involved. I let the people share their piece, and I think that's the best role for me to play. One of the photos that was posted was extremely controversial, because there was social media, and it had, a woman chained to a dog leash, and it had a man was feeding like dog food, but it said social media. And I got what the artist was trying to say. I understood what his purpose was, but looking at it firsthand and accepting it for what it was, I thought the photos were awesome at the depiction of the seat that the artist sat in. But when I realized that, it was a bit of controversy between the people, and I saw how they responded, I just learned that, if they go back and forth, then I let them settle that. It's not my place to try to justify. Now we can go behind the scenes inboxing, and I'll express and or explain. That was one incident, and then there was a second incident where a man just became a bit livid, and like 7 people were against him in his statement. I agreed with the 7 people, but it wasn't my place to go and try to defend and or support. So I just allow those controversial, and like I said, it's only been 2. I just allow those controversial moments to be exactly what they are, because that's who we are as people. I mean, that's our makeup. I can't take away that man's perspective, his thought, or his opinion, because that's what he felt in his heart. And to deem him or tell him that he's wrong, that wouldn't be fair for me to do that. Now, the other people spoke, and I was okay with that, but it's not my place to get into the mix of the drama.
Well, we need to take a quick break here. We have a lot more ahead. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we're having a conversation with Tika Lewis and talking about her group on Facebook,
Unapologetically.
Black Unapologetically, which is how old now?
We're not even in our first quarter. I started September the 5th. Oh, actually, this is our first quarter. Yeah.
So
September the 5th.
just in this short time, it's gotten a great deal of response.
2,272 members.
That's huge.
Yeah. It is huge.
So you obviously hit a nerve, or found a need, or maybe both.
I definitely think it's both, because there definitely is a need. And the reason I say that is because on Facebook, I think it's very easy to get. Some people post stuff I just don't understand, like a picture of their breakfast this morning. I mean, that's okay, I guess, but some stuff I really don't understand. And with all the ability of Facebook, sometimes I think we're not taking advantage to use that platform to really educate each other. It's one thing to keep your family members informed about your life, but that's also an awesome platform to educate the community.
That's it.
And that's what I like about it, because most of the posts, just about all the posts, it kind of has a focus, and it's an image, a positive, something you may not even knew about, something you was unaware of, but it's there. You're like, oh, it's almost like a black fact for the day, a positive black fact. But then also, I like, when I approached Tika, I like the fact that some things have controversy. Not controversy in a bad way. I think we have to learn to embrace the struggle. See, a lot of times we want to shy away from the struggle, but through struggle we have growth. And as a community, for instance, as I was talking to Tika earlier, we've had several, I think about 8 killings in Rome. Mm-hmm. And we don't talk about that. Yeah. But we want to burn cities down over Ferguson. We want to burn cities down over Chicago, but we've had almost, I think, roughly 8 murders in Rome. And as a community, as a black community, what is our response?
Right.
And so I love the fact that there's a medium. Let's talk about some of this. Let's really discuss how we feel about some of this. Mm-hmm. So with the artist's depiction of those 4 ladies, I like that, because to me, at least had people to stop and focus, not just like, and have some actual thought. Yeah. And say, hey, this is what I'm feeling. Well, this is what I'm feeling. And that's the part I really enjoy, is the fact that we need to slow down sometime and actually have dialogue about things that's going on in our community, versus just liking trivial stuff. Because some stuff is very trivial. We just, Actually, I told my daughter I think she should get paid as much as she posts. She should be getting a check.
Well, at this point, do you just kind of sit back and let it go, or do you initiate subjects at this point?
When you say sit back and let it go,
I mean, other people, the people who are members of the group Are they supplying most of the content now, and you just kind of?
That is so funny. You should ask, because for 2 weeks now, I've had a block where I've been the only person to post because the page began to take a different turn, and it strayed away from what I initially set to do. There were some inappropriate things placed in there, and as I shared with you previously, we're not out here to fight the power, black power, we hate white people. That's not my goal. That's not my intent. And there are other groups that may support that. I just don't welcome it in Black Unapologetically, because that's not what we do. So I just shared this morning, I gave an explanation as to why I stopped people from posting, because they did reach out to me and say, hey, did you block me? And it's like, no, I didn't block you. And I just gave a formal explanation as to why they couldn't post, and I opened the page back up today. A lot of the content is really good. There's great content there, different than my vision, but I have to be respectful of other people, because everybody won't always see things from my perspective, and there's some things, and when I see the amount of attention that those other posts get, I'm pleased, I'm okay, because that's an educational piece for other people. I have one guy who is really big on posting photos from slavery, and that's not what I prefer to post, but I have to be respectful of the other persons in the group, because that's his story, you know? And the pictures are really nice. I mean, it's nothing inappropriate or disrespectful. He'll have maybe a child with cotton in his hand, and he'll give a detailed explanation as to what the photo actually represents and or means. And there are certain people in the group that can relate to that. So I welcome it, and I'm grateful for that, because that's something that I can't provide. That's something that I'm not most educated about, because that's an era in which I couldn't even fathom, you know, being a part of and or living in. But for him to have that as a part of his world and to share it with us, I think it's great.
Do you think that what's happening on your page, on your site, within this group, indicates just a portion of the level of, I guess frustration is the right word, and possibly anger that's out there, that hasn't really had a chance to find a venue, I guess, or an opportunity to express itself?
I would have to say no, and I would have to share with you that that's not a platform to express anger and or frustration, because I keep everything positive. Everything from my perspective, Greg can probably share a better light, because you can't always see what other people see, but the things that I provide come from such a positive place that it leaves no room for people to be angry.
I think one of the things with a group such as this, the beauty of it is it's out there. But that's also one of the downfalls, is because when you have so many people in that group, everybody has their own perspective, everybody brings something to the pot, and which makes the group interesting. I like the group, to be honest with you, because I see the group as a medium for us to have conversations about things that matter. But in a way, as Tika has made it clear, there's a proper way to have discussions. Even if you're angry, there's still a proper way to have discussions. There's a proper way to address things. And then at the end of the day, what is the purpose? Is it just to be angry? It serves no purpose. But if it's to educate and motivate us into action, then that makes sense to me. And that's what I think, what I like about the potential of Black Unapologetically, is that when you really think about it, where is our voice? Where is the voice of people, Black people in Rome? Now, we have like national voices. We have like these national movements like Black Lives Matter. But for me, this is something that started in Rome, that Black people in Rome now. How do you feel about this? Or what do you think? You know, what are you bringing to the table? And I like the fact that Tika posts things that are positive, but to me, they also make you think. I mean, because when this piece of history that I don't know, oh man, that's interesting, but then it automatically, why didn't I know that?
Right.
You know, so
Absolutely.
it makes you wonder, like, okay, I need to study some more, but how is it that I didn't know this? That all my life I never heard about this? And so I just think it's a great opportunity if we embrace it and use it. And we've actually have talked briefly, but I'm hoping one of the things that I can bring to the table is to take it not just from the website, but also live, have some live conversations, some small group discussions, so that we can embrace. And really, when you talk about positive, Black Unapologetically to me means Black love. We need to learn how to love each other as Black people.
That's it.
Not be mad at other people, but first let's love us.
That's it.
And if we learn to love us and embrace us, I think it makes it easier for us to deal with other people. But there's a lot of issues within our community, from my perspective, that I think this could be a great opportunity for us to have some serious dialogue. And with 2,000 plus people in the group, that's a great way to start.
Now we've got have we shown it yet? We were so busy talking, I missed it. But you can get to it on, but well, how do we get to it?
Well, at this point, as I stated, I've actually reached out to Facebook.
Oh, and there it is. We're seeing it again.
I've reached out to Facebook to try to take it out of the secret mode because when I initially started the group, I did not know what I was doing. So once you go secret, you can't take it out of secret. So I actually have to add people to the group or other people, and this is the reward for me. When I go in and I look and persons have actually liked it, I'm like, who is this person? And when I realize other people have added them to the group, that's the reward for me, because what that says for me is that, you know, they were proud enough to bring somebody else along and that's my hope, that's my goal, for everyone who's a part of this group to walk away refreshed, to walk away, you know, with a sense of purpose, if you will. My long-term goal, if you will, is to eventually turn this into a digital magazine. But that's what I can appreciate, and that's what I actually love about it. You know, just as Greg explained, a lot of people do not know the history. A lot of Black people don't know the history of Berry College and how it came to be, and how Thomas Freeman, his family, you know, he was an awesome man, and how Martha Berry was able to get the land and what all that means. It speaks volumes. But for me to be able to educate my cultural people and for them to be proud of, oh, Berry College, okay, that's a part of us. That makes me proud.
Well, we're coming up on another break here. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
I'm transferring to the University of West Georgia.
Columbia University,
Kennesaw State,
UGA, Loyola University in Chicago,
Grambling State,
Shorter University. I'm going to Greensboro College, and we all got our start at Georgia Highlands.
No matter where your educational journey takes you, you can get your start at Georgia Highlands College. Georgia Highlands College. Enroll, engage, excel.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been having a conversation with Tika Lewis about her group on Facebook, Black Unapologetically, that has grown in just a few months to 2,000 plus members,
Yes.
which is pretty amazing. Right now, if you're interested in being part of it, you have to find Tika on Facebook and have her and connect with her to let her let you into it. But hopefully that will change soon, and we're going to watch it grow. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being with us this week on Community Watch. We'll see you next time.